Hi guys, how are you? Thank you for joining me. Look who I have with me, Carla here. So we're going to talk. Actually, I'll let you tell them
All
what we're
right,
going to
yeah.
talk about
See,
today.
that's it.
Seeing as how I have her in, I may as well get her to do a bit of talking.
Might as well do some work for
Yeah,
once.
yeah, yeah.
Hi, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Carla and I'm the brand ambassador for Body Slims. And myself and Jared have just filmed a part one on my channel, my YouTube channel, which we'll leave linked down in the description box down below. But we were talking about three things that I wish I knew before I started losing weight. And we thought we'd continue it over here. So, with by doing the Body Slims program, I lost 180 pounds. I did 4 rounds of it to lose 180 pounds, and then I did 1 round to lose the 40 post baby pounds that I did at my own leisure. We're not saying any woman needs to bounce back or any of that kind of stuff. When I was ready, I came back and I did exactly what I did to lose the original weight. So I'm back now, living in maintenance now for over 18 months, I think, at my goal weight. So what I thought we would do today is we're just going to share three things that I wish I knew, or that we wish people knew before starting a weight loss journey, or even if you're contemplating starting a weight loss journey, what might help. So the very first thing that I think that a lot of people get very bogged down in is, and that I did as well, is that you cannot control the scales. The scales in the bathroom. You cannot control what your weekly weigh-in is going to be, and you cannot control how fast that is going to happen for you. The only thing that you can control is your inputs. So what you're doing to get that. And that's something that you say all the time.
Absolutely. The kitchen scales and the bathroom scales. So you have people and they're obsessional about the bathroom scales. And they may be even doing the wrong things, but they still go up and they weigh themselves and they hope, oh, I was hoping I was going to get an amazing result.
Miraculously, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the point I'm always making is, because obviously stuff has to be calorie counted, and the way we're going to do that is the scales. So the scales in the kitchen. If you get the scales in the kitchen correct, in other words, if you know your numbers and you're right on your numbers, I know nobody will ever do this, but I always say you don't even need to go to the bathroom scales. The once a week, that will have already taken care of itself. Your power is all in the kitchen scale. So get this, you can't lose weight. You can. Nobody can. What you can do is you can control your day. And within that day, if you're going to try and control food, you're going to control it through the kitchen scales, what you choose to eat, the quantities, and the calorific content. If you get that right, the weight loss is the inevitable conclusion of the action that you have taken. The bathroom scales can only be a reflection of that. But if we can get that kitchen scales right, break the obsession with the bathroom scales, we get people, they weigh themselves. We get people who weigh themselves twice a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then they will email you in and go, something has happened, I've put on weight. It's water.
Yeah.
When you drink fluid, what do you think happens to it?
Or eat food.
Yeah,
before you
but
digest
water
it.
actually is quite heavy.
Yeah.
So you get people and they're jugging, bottles, and that's great. It's brilliant. But you can't be standing on the scales. Go, like, what do you think happens to it? That when it goes into your body, it doesn't weigh anymore. Of course it does. Our control is all about, if you want to change your life, you want to change your weight, your shape, your life, whatever it is, all you can actually do is change your day. All our power is in the day. What day? Today. So today, if I get that scales right in the kitchen, the scales in the bathroom will look after itself. That will automatically happen. I will get the result that I want because I'm getting it right there. That's where the maths is. The other is just the inevitable conclusion. But that obsession of people weighing themselves constantly on the bathroom scales, and particularly if you're not getting the kitchen scales right, you're better off not even going onto the bathroom scales, because it's not going to be good news.
I think that leads actually really well on to the second point, is that this is something that I really had to learn. I had to allow it to sink into me, is that my weight loss, no matter what happened in the past, is my responsibility. And that I do have the power to affect that change. That it's not a matter of magic.
No.
And it's not up to him.
No.
And it's not up to me if you are watching me on Body Slims or anything. It's not up to your mum cooking your food for you, or your husband, or even if you're lucky enough, the very few people I'd imagine watching this with a private chef or anything like that.
Yeah, hopefully there are, but I wouldn't be counting on it.
I wouldn't mind one
Yeah,
myself, to be honest with you.
no, might be handy.
Yeah, but it's not up to them. Your weight loss is your responsibility. And it is your responsibility to do those actions that will bring you to have the result on the scales.
Yeah, this is very much the child. So, you know how much I talk about this, the inner child, and the damage that can be caused to the inner child. It's a part of our personality, and it's a great part, and it should be embraced. It should be. But the problem is when you live your life through your inner child, your id, when you live your life through that, you don't take responsibility. You don't. So the id lives in the moment. It's everything is a momentary decision. What do I want? What's nice? What? And if I, which I do in the seminars, I explain how childlike it is. And rather than just being your responsibility, it's as we become salient adults, we do have to start to accept that we can no longer live in that sort of childlike sort of way where I can pick and choose everything I want. I want it and I want it now. I like this, I don't like that. And being able to sort of look at ourselves, because, we have three parts of the personality. And the third part is your superego. And the superego is the standard setter, the better part of you. And it's allowing, so in other words, I know you often talk about, and I mention it, about being a good parent to yourself. And this is where that comes from. I've always found it amazing how we are with our children, even our dog. If you brought your dog to the vet and the vet said, Bonzo is overweight and he's not happy and it's not good for his health, here's what he's to eat, you'd follow it meticulously. Yeah. You'd be a responsible dog owner. You'd be a responsible parent. But you're not always responsible to yourself.
Yeah.
And I always say the person we let down most is ourselves. The person we treat quite often, particularly if we're in this level of behaviour, is ourselves, because it's people who pay the price. Like, the honest truth is, because people a lot of the time think, what do other people think about me when I'm overweight? Well, you shouldn't be concerned. Like, you shouldn't care about what anybody else thinks. It's only what you think and what you feel. But if it's making you unhappy, that's a terrible price to pay. And it is about growing up, taking responsibility and realising I can do this if I follow. It's not easy, simple but not easy. The magic that you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. And that really and truly stands the test in everything. It's one of the things I say on Body Slims. If you hate the walk, a lot of people when they start with me, they hate the walk. Carla struggled a lot in the first program, hated the walk, loves it now. But I always say, if you're one of the people you hate the walk, doing it isn't optional. You got to do it. Do it first thing in the morning. Why? Well, because one way you're going to spend the whole day, I have to do that bloody walk. I have to do that walk. Oh, jeez, I hope the weather changes. I have to do his walk, that bloody fella. And they have a terrible day. Go out at 9 o'clock at night, do the walk, cursing me. Here you go. If you go out at 9 in the morning and you get it out of the way, the funny thing is, you then go, you're still cursing me maybe while you're doing it, but afterwards you're going, thanks be to God, I got that bloody walk done. That's out of me way.
And that's self-actualization, because you've done the thing that you didn't want to do.
But we've got to learn. If you gave in to any child, when a child asks for things, and they will, that is the right time to do this. And we try to educate. We try to go, yes, you can have your dessert, but you've got to have your dinner first. And we do it we're kind of hardwired to do this. And we do it very well. You can't have this. We usually put in restrictions.
Yeah.
The problem for us is we grow up.
The third thing that I wish I knew, or wish I understood before I began weight loss, is that every time I had tried to lose weight before, it was an act of self-punishment, of an act coming from a negative standpoint. It was because I hated myself. I was disgusted with myself. And actually, weight loss for me was one of the ultimate acts of self-care. This time, people ask me all the time, what made this time stick? Why was this time? And there are a number of reasons, but one of the biggest ones is that it was an act of self-care and self-love, not an act of punishment, but coming from in the place of understanding your value. And that's what we're talking, like we've spoken about that now. It's like, it's your value that you have. And sometimes we lose our value, we forget our value in the world. And realizing that we are valuable, and that weight loss is an act of showing up for yourself. It's an act of doing something positive for you if you do it in a way that is,
and if you're somebody who wants to do it, as opposed to being pressured by somebody else outside to do it. I couldn't agree more, because there's an old saying, take care of your body, because it's the only place you have to live. The first thing that we've got to consider doing is doing something. You're not a tree. If you don't like where you are, move, change, do something. Now, if that is your issue, then you are going to have to do something which is going to change that for you. Otherwise, you're going to be one of the people that's spending your entire life talking about it. Think of your child, or think of your dog. Is that coming from a caring place or a punishing place? If you're not allowing the child to have... If you bring your child to the doctor and the doctor says the child is overweight, they're struggling, their fitness, their health, all these things are not good, this is what you should be doing. If you do that, is it an act of self-love or of course it is. Oh, sorry, not self-love. Is it an act of love for your child? Of course it is. For your dog, for anybody. It's exactly the same for yourself. And it's okay to say that, because you know me, I would never shame anybody. And I think shaming anybody is shameful. I'm the last person to judge. I mean, I was picked up in ambulances. I can't imagine how much time I wasted from medical services because of my drinking. So I'm not somebody who judges. I'm not in a position to judge anybody, nor do I have the interest. But equally, nobody should feel shame for wanting to lose the weight or get in shape. So guys, thank you very much. It won't keep you too long. So fantastic having Carla in. We're going to try and do a little bit more of this sort of stuff this year. So hopefully you'll join us. You have to put up with me to get to hear her. That's the only reason I have her here, because I know none of you would want to listen to me.
Nonsense.
Guys, you can have the life that you really want. Okay? Don't let anybody tell you what your life should be that you really want. You should, have the responsibility and the self-care to be able to determine that for yourself. And if that involves losing some weight or getting fit or getting in shape, the most important thing to realise is you are in power. Yeah? You're in power to do that. If you got yourself out of shape, you can get yourself into shape. It will not be a quick fix, and it shouldn't be a quick fix. It should be a correct strategic intervention. But you can do it. You genuinely can do it. Carla is living proof. Loads of other people on the Body Slims website that you can go and have a look at. Living proof. If anyone else can, so can you. Believe in yourself. Don't let anybody tell you can't, particularly yourself. The most dangerous person, the one most likely to trip you up, is you. It's not going to be anybody else. As much as we might like to find a scapegoat, the reality is the person who trips yourself up is you. So let's not let that happen in 2024. Carla, once again, thank you so much for being here. And I hope you all have a wonderful year.